All right, now we've talked about so far in our journey, what is the nutrition pyramid? We've talked about meal plan design or menu design. We've talked about how to go grocery shopping. Now we're gonna talk about how to prep our food for the week. Now, food prep can seem very overwhelming for a lot of folks, and it is, but it's really not, because you want results, and so you're gonna put in the work to get those results. So the number one thing that I say when we start food prepping is go ahead and assign duties and tasks. So whether you're doing this with a roommate, a spouse, your children, or maybe it's just by yourself, at least assign yourself tasks, but assign tasks and divvy up the chore of food prep. So after you've kind of assigned some tasks, the next thing you want to do is make sure you have enough time. Just like with grocery shopping, what we don't want to do is try to squeeze something in, because inevitably we're going to mess something up when we're rushed. And in being rushed, we're going to end up getting frustrated and things just aren't going to play out the way we want them to. So go ahead and carve out a couple hours. I don't think that food prep should take more than 2 hours of your week. Now that's just me and that's my opinion. And so if it is going to take more than 2 hours, I would suggest going ahead and setting aside 2 separate times to do food prep for the week. And maybe you split it up and you do 3 days at a time or something like that. But go ahead and carve out enough time. The next thing you want to do is look at your menu and begin to find the foods that will take the longest to cook. So you're going to look at those starchier carbohydrates are going to take a little bit longer to cook than your leafy greens. So don't start with the leafy greens, but start with those. Let's say we're going to go potatoes and we're going to roast those potatoes in the oven. Cut and chop those up, season them as you like, throw them in the oven and get those things going, because they're going to take 45 minutes. Well, guess what you're going to do in the next 45 minutes? Prepare all your other vegetables, all right? So it's a great way to really expedite the process. The other thing is too, when you look at your protein, is figure out how your protein's gonna cook. Are you gonna grill it? Okay, if you're gonna grill it, are you using electric grill? Are you using charcoal? Are you gonna bake it in the oven or cook it in a skillet? So kind of look at the way you're cooking your protein and then factor that time in as well. So now we've got our protein figured out. We've got our vegetables starting from the longest cooking to the shortest cooking. And then the next thing would be to set out all your containers. So after you kind of have an order of how everything's gonna go, get your containers out. So you need containers once you chop your vegetables to put the chopped vegetables in so that your cutting board is then available for your next veggie, okay? You're gonna need containers for after your meat is cooked to pull it off and let it rest somewhere. So have these different containers out. And then you don't have to go, super crazy and write notes and, oh, this is for the broccoli and green beans and whatnot, but have those different containers ready. Then the nice thing about these containers, as long as you have enough, is after you've put your broccoli in it, because you chopped it, now you put it over on the stovetop to steam it. Now it steams, you can put it back in the other container to rest before we go to weighing and measuring our food, if that's a place where you're at. All right, something else we want to keep in mind is, although we have these stages of getting our stuff set up, getting the bowls out, finding which vegetables need to cook first, figuring out our protein, we also want to keep it simple and have some fun. We, at our family, we turn on a playlist, turn on the little portable speaker, turn the tunes up, and we have a good time doing it. And that can be a great way to take something that feels super overwhelming and very complex and challenging and spicing it up a little bit. We get our family involved, so our kids help out in different ways. We do keep them away from the knives. We like to have all of our fingers. So, but have your kids help out. Have your roommates or, once again, your spouses help out in this process. Now, as you begin to finish all of your cooking, so all your cooking is complete, now comes the task of putting all of these meals together. So we're gonna pull out that menu that we made earlier a couple videos ago, and we're now gonna start filling food containers with this menu. And so we're gonna portion out our protein, we're gonna portion out our vegetables, we're gonna portion out our complex carbohydrates. We're gonna get that all into one container and then put a lid on it. And then we're gonna go ahead and put a Post-it note that has the day that this meal goes to, the Monday lunch or whatnot. Now, when it comes to portioning things out, there's a lot of different ways we can begin to portion things. Step number one is just sustainability. So I don't really care about you measuring things as much as getting things into a container. So if you need rice, put you some rice in there. You need broccoli, put you some broccoli in there. You need your chicken, put your chicken in there. If you're past sustainability and you're now onto counting your daily calories, then you will have to start weighing and measuring your food. That's where buying a $10 to $15 food scale will be very important. Pull out your tracking app, whichever way you're going to decide to track, and begin to calculate your daily calories. You can write those calories on the Post-it note for your Monday lunch just to kind of help you stay on track. After we've got all of our meals now put together, comes the worst part of all food prep. It's the cleanup. Nobody likes it, but you've got to do it. But your reward for that cleanup is not having to cook during the week and taking one step, and it's a huge step closer to your goals. Whether you want abs or you want flab, you've got to food prep. We've got to make sure that we're doing that because that is the key to success. So sustainability is great, but if we're not going to have food ready that is sustainable and we're ready to eat, then it's all going to fall apart. So food prep can be a daunting task, but don't let it be. Let it be an encouragement to you that you're taking control of your health and your wellness, and you're trying to make yourself a healthier individual. And then in that process, also maybe you can become some fancy chef and then you have a new job. But food prep is fun. Don't let it be overwhelming, but let it be the key to your success.